Hey everybody, and welcome to another Ask the Hub. Today I'm joined by Anton, who is the COO of UpsilonIT, and we're going to be discovering the discovery phase in software development. Anton, welcome.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Pleasure to be here.
Perfect. So, when we talk about the discovery phase in terms of software development, why does it matter according to you?
So let's start with what discovery phase is, in my opinion. So discovery, or the scoping phase, is a process of collecting and analyzing information about the project, its market, its audience, and really building this and transforming that into like a solution or product that will meet expectations and under right circumstances be successful. And we consider it like as pretty much essential first part of the software development life cycle, which is like that is kind of like why it is really important. So from the business perspective, it helps to confirm or to begin the process of prioritizing features, determine this audience, their roles, their needs. Why do they need that product? And form requirements based on that. A lot of the times, like during the discovery phase, we um, test and tune the idea and like go through kind of the process of evolving this into kind of a better product that we started with it. And also, like a really important thing is like the discovery phase allows you to kind of receive like the really like the scope, the costs, and the time frame that like how, in which like your product can be built. And this kind of the results of the discovery phase you can use with the company you're working with, or pretty much like a good discovery phase should be um, ended with kind of the requirements, the descriptions, uh, the mock-ups that you can show to any like development company, and they will know like what to build and how to do it. From the team perspective, this is like the technical part, like leads to in complex cases to system requirements specification, or in like less complex is to like use cases, user stories, wireframes, like information architecture, and so on. So pretty much everything that is like, necessary for development, and like the list of things that MVP should consist of, and like the things that we should consider that we will be building after that. So kind of what product will be um, going to. So really like the discovery phase allows getting a well-rounded and still depth kind of opinion and understanding of like what are we building, both for the product owners and especially like what a lot of I think projects are missing. It gets team the same feeling and they're on board from the very beginning of the project, even before the development. They know why these features are there, so why like the users need them, so what are the requirements, and it pretty much shifts like the development from building kind of separate blocks and separate features to building a complete product that makes sense. And this is why I think like the um, when the team participates like in discovery phase and go through this process of like building this like block by block, it gets like a very good understanding and very good attitude from uh, the team. So yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so basically, you've got all the three steps, which is people, processes, and product, all going from the get go and being planned from the discovery phase. So it seems to be like one of the most essential steps in planning. Um, so, in this essential step, who are the people you would involve, and what are their roles and responsibilities?
We involve quite a lot of people, but they're not like full time involved in most of the cases. So first of all, you have like your project manager, who's your clock, your timetable, your problem solver, your organizer, who keeps like people on track, keep the information going, so everybody knows what's happening, where we are, what are we waiting for, and so on. So this is pretty much the organization process. The business analyst or generally the kind of maybe the sometimes it is like technical writer, but this is kind of the mind of operation. So this is the person that talks and communicates with the stakeholders the most, and really gets like the maximum information out of them, does his research, and pretty much builds like um, the description and foundation. Okay, how this project will work, what features do we need, what roles do we need, what users will do in like various cases. Pretty much he kind of most of the time determines what uh, how the obviously like based on the stakeholder or the product owner needs and requests, but he transforms that into a thing that everybody can understand. It is very clear on how it is working, what should be built, and uh, his work pretty much is to work out like every detail that can be um, met during the project, identify the potential issues or risks, how to mitigate them, how to solve them, and so on. We do our discoveries with UI UX designer. So the after pretty much after we know how it should work, what features do we should we have, uh, what use cases and user flows should we have. UI UX designers builds wireframes, mockups, prototypes, depending on the needs of the client, and pretty much makes like a visual representation of how the UI UX should look for this very specific product. We don't always do complete design work in the discovery. It depends on obviously if like the product owner or the stakeholders like the designers and so on. But based on the mock-ups, the wireframes, clickable prototypes, like you can have like any designer you like build like the identity of the product that you wish to, but still stick to the rules and stick to the structure of the project. We involve developers into the discovery phase. So the role of the developer is kind of your expert check on um, how specific features can or cannot be built. What are the limitations? What would be kind of a better technical approach? How can we get some information or connect to some APIs and so on? So basically, this is your kind of reality check on some of the things that can or cannot be done. And I think like the most important thing here during discovery phase is they provide like different options and alternatives to problem solving. So you can like build everything from scratch, or you can use like some third party service or API or resource here that will still satisfy the needs, but will um, take much less time in the development, and that for like we will build the MVP faster, we will get feedback faster, and so on. And eventually, like the responsibility of developers is to build the product architecture and provide estimates for the kind of as the end result of the discovery phase. I think we sometimes include QA engineers, pretty much for kind of as a helpers to developers and business analysts, because like they like we can train them to like look for edge cases to see like what can break here pretty much, or what can go wrong, and their input in some cases is very valuable, but they do not span like a huge amount of time in the discovery phase, but sometimes their insights are very helpful. So I think that is kind of our typical kind of roles and members of the discovery team.
That makes sense. So, what would you could you like elaborate a little bit on the main steps of the discovery phase, and maybe what you all do at UpsilonIT during the discovery phase as well?
Generally, like the discovery phase, like its length and steps really depend on the size of the project or the input that we receive, like from the client or from the product owner. Because like we can receive something like just like an idea. I want to build an app that does like this thing, and it is like pretty huge work on building product upon that, or you can receive like pretty much a lot of the work done beforehand, but we still need to go over that, go into details, correct some things, and so on. But generally, we start so through all of the steps, we have a lot of talks and contact with the product owner. So we pretty much spend either a few hours daily or be daily, always talking, reporting our results, discussing like features of things to have. But first few days, we're doing pretty much list of features, list of things that product needs to do, or like a problem that it needs to solve and what we have, starting from your like authentication to user management to like whatever product needs. We just need like a list of things that product needs to do. And what we also do with this list is like for the product idea or like the features that we do, we look for competitors and alternatives. So what product exists out there in the market already that does like they do like similar things, or how they do these features and so on. And we discuss them with the product owner, what he likes, what he does not like, what he would like us to do better, and so on. And this helps us form like kind of the core of the kind of product. That okay, so what should we do? Next, I think like for the next week, uh, it's pretty much 5 business days. We usually work on product specification, the use cases, user stories, information architecture in terms of okay, what entities do we have, how it should work, what roles do we have. So we pretty much upon these features, we build like parts of the product that we should build, how they should work, how they're connected, how they operate together. So pretty much at this point, you already have like the base of your product, and it is described on like how it should work. At this point, we try to stop doing major changes to the kind of product. Obviously, like along the way to the end of the discovery phase, like a lot of things will change, but core features, if we add or change something major, we pretty much need to roll back to to like the beginning and redo a lot of work. So we try at this step, so like a week and a half into the process, we try to fix the result as much as we can, so we can continue forward steadily and finish in time. Obviously, like if we have a great idea that needs like some changes, we do that. But this is kind of general our intention to try to stay to this like core things that we established in the beginning. Next, what we do is we're working on the here like as UI UX designer steps in, and we do the clickable prototypes, mockups, wireframes, anything that pretty much starts to look at what product should do, and we visualize that and bring that into the interface that you can see and you can interact with. We find that clickable prototypes are like really give much more kind of sense to like how product will work, how it would look like. And the UX part is we work on that usually between like 5 to 10 business days, because like here we kind of change a lot on okay, how user interacts, how the interface should look like, where should we have the filters, how filters should work. Uh, Maybe we can reduce like amount of clicks for the user to do this specific action, because like this is one of the main actions we will repeat like over and over again. This is like what we try to do like, in this period of time. After that, we either do the complete design of the product if the product owners like wishes us to do that, or we move to the doing the technical stack and architecture. So we work like closely with the developers on okay, how we will actually do it, what technologies, like languages, services would we use, and give the product owner the pretty accurate estimation in terms of like how much time do we need, what the team composition should look like, what are like kind of the steps and like deliverables throughout the project, and yeah, this pretty much completes the discovery phase. So in the end,
So, what are your steps that take place after this discovery phase then?
depends on like what we're working with. So if the client is kind of already have the kind of the funding, or we're working with existing project, we're just building a big new part. Uh, we pretty much start the development. So we assign a team, like it is usually a project manager, a couple of developers, QA, that will be working on this project, and like we follow them. Usually it is like done in the agile Scrum way. So we set up like sprints, take our like features and things we need to do, and start building. So the development is pretty much like the next step. Sometimes after the discovery phase, um, the stakeholders can like look for more feedback based on like what we've presented. They talk to like, the potential users, show the clickable prototypes to users or to investors. So there can be obviously a lag between the discovery phase and the development phase, but we usually communicate that and understand like what the steps should be during or even before the discovery phase, so we can plan ahead correctly. So we know, like for example, if like we started the discovery phase, and if the client is sure that uh, we will start working on the project right after the discovery phase, we already in the discovery phase will be looking to assign kind of team members in a few weeks that will be starting work on this project. So yeah, pretty much like it's either some lag on some like work outside of team to kind of get feedback, talk to investors and so on, or like start the development. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Great. I think so. We've really had a look at the discovery phase in depth in this discussion, and it provides a lot of value to uh, people who are looking at software development partners like UpsilonIT, or maybe even they're doing it internally, to discover new features or new products. So thanks a lot for all of the great information that you've provided us, Anton, and for taking the time to join us.
Yeah, thank you. It was a pleasure. Thanks a lot.
And for our users and our audience, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to get in touch, and me and Anton will try and solve most of them for you. And I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.